What is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to round 3 for my locals this past Saturday. Here we have Phantom Knights on the left versus Swordsoul Tenyi on the right. Yours truly on the right, piloting the Swordsoul deck. Still new to the deck, still learning. I think I've talked about this in past videos, but I do think this is a very challenging deck to play, at least to pilot 100% correctly, which I do not do in this video. Spoiler alert. So yeah, my friend Jovu here on the left gonna lead with a E-Telly into Tracker Normal Summon Ash, right? 2 level 3s, it'll work, right? Trying to get the job done here. Not in the most optimal way, but you know, you gotta work with what you got. I'm gonna lead with the Cherry Beanie play, dumping Graph, summoning Seer. Also, I tried to spare you guys this week. There was only one Phantom Knight replay. I know there's been like a lot of Phantom Knight. I have a lot of people that play Phantom Knight. And some of our better players do play that deck at locals. And I do try to have the better players on, you know, to get better gameplay for you guys. And a lot of times they just happen to be playing the same deck. So I do apologize if there's some repetition. But I did try to mix it up. As you guys can tell, only one Phantom Knight duel here. And as he is resolving his Rusty, let's take a look at the poll results. Ask you guys who you thought was going to win. And 1.6 thousand votes, 60% going in favor of Swordsoul, 40% going in favor of Phantom Knight. Let's see if you guys were correct in putting your faith in me as the Swordsoul pilot. He's going to summon out Shade Brigandine, make the Link Spider, of course, doing that so we can get into Anaconda. Anaconda paid 2k, and that will do it. I think the only hand trap I opened here was a copy of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion, and I decided to hold it. I was thinking about hitting the Seer with it, but I really wanted to hold it for the DPE graveyard effect that I knew it was eventually going to come. And you know, I thought maybe he would try to use DPE here in the end phase, clear it in the Anaconda like some people do, but that's usually to play around Super Poly, and he'd still have Rusty on field, so that really doesn't play around Super Poly still. But yeah, I was holding the Bell for that. I think I also have Emergence in hand also, and I know I have to play around at least 2 Fogblade, right? There's always 2 Fogblade, and I don't know if he has any cards in hand. I can't tell from this view, and I don't really remember offhand either. But I do lead with Moye, Moye, or however it's pronounced. I know someone tried to give the correct pronunciation in the comments in one of the last videos, and I do appreciate that. But Moye is going to start things off here. I think I revealed a Vishuda, and that is going to, of course, special summon a token. Here I'm expecting a Fogblade, right, or the DPE, and I'm also still playing Heavenly Dragon Circle at this point too, which is really great to dodge things like Fogblade and stuff, but not so much DPE. And he does decide to DPE the Moye, which means the token will still come out. I try to Bell the Graveyard Artifact, and my opponent, being as good as he is, has the Call by the Grave for the Bell. Yeah, I mean, he had to have that, or else his DPE is just out of the loop, which would have been really nice at this point in the game, but you know, it is what it is. We can definitely still try to make do with what we have. But again, playing through double Fogblade is just going to be so tough. And then also trying to deal with his Graveyard follow-up next turn. Just a lot of things going against me here. I do follow up with the Long Yun, pitching Tenyi. Tenyi is another card that I'm kind of mixed on. Like, I know some lists have been playing 1, some lists play 2. I'm just not really used to playing with 1 at the moment. And I'm also just not used to playing the deck enough yet to the point where I could see, you know, how 1 Tenyi is just, you know, maybe definitely more doable than I think it is, I guess, if that makes any sense. So he is going to go ahead and activate Wings on Rusty, and I do make Qixing Long Yun. It's going to burn for 12 using the Long Yun Engrave. I go to attack. He tries to protect it, boosted by 500. I was thinking about banishing the Wings there, but I knew he had a Fogblade set, so there's no way I was just going to run into a Fogblade. I figured if he summons back a monster, or summons a monster, like I could chain Long Yun, and then he could chain Fogblade, and I could chain Long Yun again to banish the Fogblade and sort of clear 2. But DPE just does such a good job at outing Swordsoul boards. It's actually insane. And it's like one of the reasons why I really like maining Bell and siding DD Crow because it definitely really outs those cards. Apologize for the camera shake there. Yeah, absolute earthquake going on. But yeah, it definitely outs problematic cards like DPE, but it's also just good against other matchups like Bell against Prank Kids, the Despia deck as well. Yeah, Invoke should all matchups and things like that. Also good against Tri Brigade, right? It's good against a wide range of matchups, but also definitely deals with the DPE. And I do attempt to Long Yun banish and burn the DPE, but of course he does chain DPE, and then Long Yun goes to grave. E-Telly's out here. The Psychic Wielder has Celestial Dasher follow up here. And I don't really have any interruptions in hand right now, so this game is definitely not going in my favor here. And, I mean, I do have... Oh, yeah, I guess I do have a Ghost Ogre, but, like, Ghost Ogre being very low impact here. Like, I can hit the Rusty off of the field to kind of clear some damage. But, like, I don't think I was going to have a better spot to actually end up Ghost Ogring him. Like, if I'm being totally honest, he is going to normal the Cloak. It's going to use this effect on the Anaconda. Give it 800 attack, because why not? And then he is going to go for a Link play here momentarily. But yeah, not the best game for me here, just because losing die roll and then opening Ogre Bell, which, like, Bell, again, pretty okay against Phantom Knight, but Ogre really not so much. And my opponent did play around the Ogre on the Cherubini by having a card set prior. At least I believe so. So yeah, like, kind of dodge that. Then he's going to go into Access Code here. He'll blow up the token, and it's a 5300 Access Code. And then in battle phase, he's just going to use Wings, bring out Rusty, and then Torn Scale effects, right? Attack in for exactly game. 2700 exactly game. We're into game 2, guys. Don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist at the link below, and you can use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. Get the brand new Pegasus sleeves, new playmats, deck boxes, dice, binders, and more. And don't forget to use the affiliate links I have to TCG Player and the Coldest Water down in the links below as well. You'll be supporting the channel by doing so. So we're going to see me lead here in game 2. I did open up a Tenyi plus Vessel, which is a really, really strong 2-card combo here. Vessel's just nothing short of a god card by the plays it absolutely lets you do, to go for the Chow Fang play or the Chow Funky play, and just dodge hand traps like Valor, Ogre, Nibiru, Gamma. Yeah, just really, really strong. So I'll dump Ashina, add Adara, spec Adara, Ashina effect to summon a Vashuda from the deck. And for some reason, I feel like I always open Vessel Shathana. Like, Shathana is just glued to my hand, but, like, even now that I'm trying the deck without Circle, I think playing Shathana is still kind of necessary. Because if you open up Moyi Ashina and they Ogre your Moyi, you can still Ashina, summon out Shathana, and make Shishao and, you know, still play. And then have, like, the potential follow-up and protection of something like Shathana Engrave, which is really strong in tandem with cards like Shaman, and, like, pushing into boards, like, crashing things. You can get a lot of value out of Shaman and Monk and Shathana and making really cool board-breaking plays. So you'll see me go for the Chow Fang here, and I'm mainly going this route here to not inherently hurt anything about his engine, because obviously the whole deck is dark, and I really want to find a combo where I can make Chow Fang with a dark monster, whether it be Yazi or Jiaotu, the Darkness of the Yangzing. I'm not exactly sure what its name is, but I know it's a level 2 dark Yangzing tuner, and I still haven't worked out the specifics yet. But mainly trying to play around Ogre, right? Because I haven't normal summoned yet. That's one of the great things about the Vessel combo, is it's a whole combo that, you know, goes without using a normal. And I do have Moyi here, revealing Long Yun, and we're going to go ahead and Synchro here. My opponent does have Collector, but I do have Droplet in hand, and I wasn't sure how Collector worked exactly, like, because this is, like, my first time, I think, ever getting Token Collector. Like, a lot of the decks I've played in the past have never had this card sided against it, so I was like, does it destroy the tokens when it activates in hand, or is it a separate effect that activates on summon? And lo and behold, it is a separate effect that activates on summon. And I had the Droplet, and I didn't want to pitch the Long Yun, but I realized I could probably just search another Long Yun off of the the Chi Jiao if I really wanted it. So I just pitch it, negate the token collector here, and then we're going to go ahead and draw and search. I think I draw into DD Crow. And another thing I also forgot too was to use Adara to get back my Ashina. Like, this is one of the things, like, my biggest flaws of playing this deck so far is, like, taking full advantage of optimally using the Tenyi engine, because right there I could have just had the Ashina back in my hand, which would have been great follow-up, but I completely forgot. I could have also potentially Vashuda bounce the token collector back to his hand. Yeah, but I guess it's better that I didn't. I also have Crow too, which is technically an out to the collector if it goes to grave. And yeah, so I have Blackout, Chao Feng, and Chi Xiao. My opponent also has Ghost Ogre in hand, which is really good because, you know, turning off Ghost Ogre is strong. He said, you know, he could have ogred like the Boxia, but like at that point, Chao Feng's already doing its job, even though it hasn't even hit the board yet, right? Like, he's burning an ogre on something that isn't my normal summon, and that's all that matters. So we're going to see him activate Emergency Teleport here to go ahead and special summon a level 3 or lower Psychic monster from the deck. He'll go for the Psychic Wielder. And at this point, I probably should have blacked out. I also, like, my opponent made a point afterwards, and I'll bring it up here in just a moment. So, like, here I technically, like, I could have blacked out, but I didn't really feel super threatened to. Because I'm like, unless he makes Nightmare Phoenix, right, then my blackout's done for. But I kind of expected an Anaconda. I'm like, alright, well, I'll let him summon the Anaconda, make him waste a Fusion Destiny, and also 2,000 life points, and I'll just go ahead and negate with Chi Xiao, which is what I exactly do. He tries to Ogre, I'm like, you can't, because, right, you know, Chao Feng is a pretty good card. And then the next point at which I should have 100% used Blackout was on the normal summon of this Torn Scales. I don't know what I was thinking here. I literally throw the game. You know, I literally throw the game right here by not using Blackout. Because I could have blacked out his Anaconda, his, you know, his Torn Scale, and I let this walk for some reason, and, you know, blew them both up, searched, you know, any tuner from my deck, search an Ash, search an Ecclesia, whatever it may be. And I still get to keep my my Chi Xiao on board. But I let this resolve, getting him another body to the grave, and also getting that cloak out of his hand too. And at this point, it's just far too late. You can absolutely just go ahead and play through the board 100% here, because you can just go for Nightmare Unicorn. Too late to use Blackout at this point, because my opponent has to have 2 cards to be able to use it. And then he's going to go ahead and discard another cloak. Yeah, and it's just going to go back to the deck. And yeah, it completely just threw the game right there, and that's 100% on me. But, you know, you live and learn, right? I mean, I guess I could have easily got punished by a Phoenix, but a lot of people really aren't playing Nightmare Phoenix right now, and also, like, if any Link 2 is going to come out that's going to force something out, it's probably going to be Anaconda, so, like, I get why I didn't black out, and I think it's justified to not black out while he has the Collector plus the Tracker, but there's definitely no reason to not black out when he has Anaconda plus Torn Scales, especially when, you know, Torn Scales isn't an on-summon effect. So yeah, that was just a complete throw again. But my opponent is going to activate Cloak here to go ahead and search. And one other thing, too, that wouldn't be, like, such a problem is the fact that he has Collector engraved, right? And had I made the proper play, his turn would have probably just, he probably would just end a turn, right? And I can keep the DD Crow in hand for Collector on the next turn. But since I don't want to die this turn, I feel the need, the extra pressure to actually go ahead and Crow the Torn Scales to keep him from getting an extra body. And then, you know, he brings out the Cloak off of the Fog Blade, special summons the Boots, all advantage that he would not have had I just used Blackout earlier. And then he's going to go for, I believe, yeah, a rank 3 here for that of Breaksword. He'll activate Breaksword effect. And not sure exactly what he destroys here with the Breaksword. But I guess he's going to go ahead and clear Chao Feng. And that's going to go ahead and net me a tuner. And at this point, like, I guess I could have searched Bell. But I don't know if Bell would have saved me from anything after the fact. Because he just goes battle phase, runs over the Chi with the Unicorn, which was boosted up, by the way, by Cloak. And then he goes for the Rusty. I guess I could have potentially added Ash, right? And then that would have stopped the Rusty follow-up. So I guess even through all of those mistakes, still adding an Ash there would have basically made it so all I had to play through was one Fog Blade. So I guess that's an interesting dynamic as well, because I think he sided out the wings there, yes. That's why he ends up searching the not-so-optimal Shade Brigadines. If anybody's wondering why he searched that instead of something else, I think it's because he sided out the wings. And draw for turn here. And, yeah, like, gotta worry about the Collector, too, which, honestly, I completely forget about. I have Longyun and Ecclesia in hand. And this is where having that Ashina back in my hand would be so clutch, because I could spec Ecclesia and then activate Longyun, pitching the Ashina, and then he obviously token collectors, and then I have a Synchro 10 play still available. It's just how much these small little things matter, man. Like, I've definitely been getting a lot better since this match at remembering Tenyi effects, even though I still do forget every now and then. It's just like something that will cost you games. It's not a matter of like if they will, it's just like a matter of when. Like, it's just going to cost you games. And you can see he doesn't even need, like, I mean, he didn't really have to ogre the Taie because he had Collector too. But like, board completely cleared. I just have a Longyun in hand. No way to get back the Ashina. And yeah, see, I, you know, do that little hand motion there saying I should have gotten that back. And still could have made like a Qixing Longyun or something after the fact who would deal with the Fog Blade at least, and possibly any follow-up. But it is what it is. Phantom Knights taking that one 2-0. If you guys want to see more of my content, check out one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members, who are Tweeter0226, Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Keith Sidgers, and Justin Lamb. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your extremely kind and generous support of the channel.